have a very special video for you right now. It's actually bittersweet, but right here, I think is one of the coolest classic trucks of all. It belongs to David.
I agree.
And it's on sale.
Yeah.
TFLbids.com is the site, the TFL runs. You could sell your own truck or car or SUV there. This truck is on TFL Bids.
Yeah.
Okay.
This has been a tough decision.
All right. So how about this, David?
Okay.
How about in this video, we walk around this truck. This is a 1990? 90. So it's 33 years old. GMC, crew cab, long bed, heavy duty, 1 ton, single rear wheel, diesel.
All the above.
And show the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly?
I do have some of all of those.
All right.
Yeah.
So, first of all, tell me the history of this. You and I met 3.5 years ago because of this truck.
Yeah.
So tell me from the top,
Okay.
the year, how did this truck start out?
So square bodies were made from 73 till 87, but they kept making the 1-tons and the Suburbans until 91. So that's where this fit in.
Okay.
And they called them RVs. R for the 2-wheel drive, V for the 4-wheel drive.
Okay.
So this is a V3500. Yeah, well, I bought it something like 6 years ago.
Okay.
And it had originally had a 454 in it, and I loved the truck as it was, but it obviously didn't pull enough of what I wanted it to do. So I started dreaming and going on, the internet and looking, Cummins and GMC pickup.
Yes.
And luckily there's all kinds of stuff in there saying you can do it. And I said, I don't know how to do it, but I learned how to do it. And voila, I put a Cummins in it.
And it's excellent. Let's pop the hood because that's kind of the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
Let's pop it.
So, yeah, the decision to put a Cummins in it got me on lots of different paths.
Can I try this?
Yep. Oh, there you go. Good job.
I learned. Okay.
This one's tight because it's really tight. There we go. So I had to go looking for a Dodge pickup because I needed a Cummins. I didn't have one at the time.
Okay.
And I found this clapped out farm truck.
Okay.
Had 300,000 miles on it.
Okay.
And I gave the kid $1,500 because the turbo had gone out on it and he couldn't get it to run, and he didn't really, he knew he had a good truck, but it was all beat to heck.
Yeah.
But I got a good deal on it, $1,500.
All right. So then you got that old Dodge and you pulled the engine out of it.
Yeah, so I just didn't put the engine in just right out of the truck. Me and my buddy Dan, he owns a mechanic shop. We took it out, we sent it to the machine shop, Magnaflux the head, we put new rings, lapped the valves, everything that you would do on a rebuild. And then head studs back in it, and then I had to fit it in here, which that was the real challenge because, rebuilding the motor, that's the easy part, but making it fit into this body style is the difficult part. However, I'm not the first one to do it. There's been many before. And so there was lots of information to glean off the internet.
So, some people would say you should put a 5.9 Cummins into everything. Would you say that?
I would agree.
Put it into everything.
Exactly.
Your Chrysler minivan,
Yeah.
you name it.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to the point of why I'm selling.
Okay.
Because you guys are going to think I'm nuts for selling this truck, and I probably will regret it someday. What do you think it is, Andre? What do you think I would sell this truck? Because I love this thing.
I don't know. You've spent years building it up. You've taken it cross country multiple times. It's been a great truck to you. You would sell it because you have another project in mind?
Yes, but that's only half the story.
Oh, why?
Because, I bought that wrecker that
Okay.
I'm not going to go in the wrecking business, but but it had all the parts to build another one, because that's the fun of it, right? You just build one, sell it, build one, sell it. That's all the fun of it. But the real reason I'm selling, it's too loud.
What?
It's too loud. So
no, I don't believe that.
So I put my camper on the back of this truck, and I've hauled it many miles. I've got 40,000 miles on the truck with the Cummins in it, okay? And half those miles pulling the camper. And my wife goes with me.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of the problem.
So,
I mean, if you're sitting in this for 7-8 hours with this noise going on for 7-8 hours, she gets tired of it. And honestly, I get tired.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, it's fun to work on the ranch with it,
Yeah.
right? Pull stuff
Yeah.
and carry stuff. But if you're going for long trips, I understand.
It's just a little too noisy.
Okay.
And I bought a truck to pull my camper. See, I bought another 5.9, but it's the 3rd gen version, and it's a common rail. It's a lot quieter.
And
my
what year
wife
is this
tolerates
engine? What year is this?
This is out of a 94.
94
Yeah.
Dodge.
94.
All right. I want to. We'll get back to the powertrain in a bit.
Okay.
But I want to take a step back.
Sure.
Can we look at the truck in profile?
Yeah. You want me to shut the hood?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you want to know about it, Andre?
Well, this is a square body. People love this body style, first
Iconic.
of all.
Yeah.
Let's look in the profile, because this is kind of a unique configuration of this truck.
Yeah.
Because,
Right here. Not everybody knows what that means right there.
Why is it 3+3?
I know, you think, it's just a 4x4. It's not a 3x3, for crying out loud. It's got 4 wheels. No, that's 3 people in the front seat and 3 people in the back seat.
Yes.
Yes.
This is
3
what
benches.
This is what all the modern trucks are, right?
No.
Well, I'm sorry. This part, the crew
Oh,
cab.
yeah, the crew cab.
The crew cab part.
But yeah, finding one with a bench in the front's nearly impossible nowadays.
Right, but this is what people love, bringing lots of people and lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a unique build for 1990.
But now, I mean, it's 3 times the truck it used to be because of what it can pull.
Yeah,
I
totally.
mean, honestly, it can pull 3-4 times more than what it pulled before.
Yeah, and you updated the suspension too.
Oh yeah.
And this is an 8-foot bed.
8-foot bed.
8-foot
and
bed.
It's nearly rust free. And I want to show you a couple little spots of rust, okay?
Okay.
Underneath the 3+3, there's a little bit of surface rust.
Okay.
And then under this trim, there was some. And when I took the trim off and redid the trim, I put some rust killer on there. But there's no rust in the cab corners. There's no rust in the rocker panels. There's no rust in the doors in any part except for the wheel. What do you call these? The wheel liners?
Inner fender?
Inner fenders, yeah. There's a little bit of rust on both sides of the inner fender. That is de-rust. That's all there is, which is very unusual for these trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is this original paint?
So I
think?
think it had some hail damage at one time. You see it's peeling off right there.
Okay.
So there's the original blue. I think the white's original, but the blue is not, because I think it got in a hailstorm from the previous owner.
Okay.
And the top was repainted.
And look at this. So, talking about rust, look, everything is solid down here
it's
as well.
solid.
So
Now when I
very solid.
redid the truck, now you're going to see the seats are original. The carpet's not, because I pulled the carpet out and I put they call it Dynamat. I put Dynamat underneath all the carpet, and I put Dynamat in the top. I put Dynamat in the doors. I put Dynamat everywhere.
You were trying to quiet it down. Okay.
Hopefully I could quiet, and it did quiet it down a lot, but just not enough. I put a headliner in there, which is my signature headliner. But yeah, the interior door panels, this is all original. It's got cracked dash, it's got torn seats, it's got a cracked windshield.
So a couple cracks here.
It's got a couple cracks. Yeah. It's the original dash. I'm using all the gauges, which is a little unusual because I got the voltmeter to work, I got temperature sensor to work, I got the gas gauge, but it didn't have a tachometer. So I put a tachometer on the...
Which is very important.
Yeah, and I had to come off the harmonic balancer. They put a magnet on the harmonic balancer so it tells how many time it's turning. And then I put an EGT gauge on the dash, as well as a boost gauge. So this is an Eco Boost, by the way.
Eco Diesel Boost?
So I've got some goodies on this truck. And one of them is from Power Driven Diesel.
Okay.
Is this little device that you can turn her up a little bit. So I say when my switch is this way, I have eco, and when my switch is that way, I have boost.
So you've combined General Motors, Dodge Ram, and Ford.
Yeah, I got Ford wheels. These are not Chevy wheels.
So it's a turducken of trucks.
This has got a little of everything on it right here.
All right. Well, there's so much going on. Tell me about the suspension. Tell me about the suspension.
So originally, these trucks rode rough. This is a 110, so it had like 10 springs in the back, and it had 3 leafs in the front. And those 3 leafs, and they're flat typically, but it was a rough ride. And then you put another 500-600 pounds of Cummins goodness in the front, and it really rode rough. So I had off-road designs. They have a whole system. You weigh the front, you weigh the back, you send the specs off. You have the springs made for the truck, and it's 10 leafs up front, 10 leafs in the back, and it made like all the difference in the world. New shackles, greasable shackles. I put Bilstein shocks.
Yeah.
So all 4 springs are brand new. Well, they have 40,000 miles on them.
Yeah.
And essentially the drivetrain is like new. I mean, because it's got, the motor was rebuilt. It's new alternator, air conditioning, compressor, clutch. I mean, it's got a South Bend clutch.
So AC works.
AC works.
Okay.
Drivetrain. I rebuilt had it rebuilt by a professional, the 5-speed transmission.
Okay.
And then he mated it to the 205 transfer case that came with the truck. And there's an advanced adapter in there that mates those 2 up.
Okay.
And then the drive shafts had to be cut. Well, the front had to be shortened a little bit. The back had to. The front had to be lengthened. The back had to be shortened. They were balanced. New U-joints. So I mean,
brand new drivetrain.
It's a 40,000 mile truck essentially.
And the axles were left.
Original. Yeah.
Original.
Yeah, original. And these full floating axle. I mean, there's very little that can go wrong with them.
Really heavy duty.
But the truck has, how many miles it has on it?
How many?
204.
Oh, on the chassis, on the frame. On the frame.
So, and it's quite remarkable that it's in this good a shape with this many miles. The guy before me, he had a big old camper on top, sliding camper, and it, carried it well. At just 454 was breathing heavy all the time.
Yeah. Well, let's show the bed really quick.
Okay.
This is a full 8-footer.
So this is my work truck. I mean, honestly, you've seen me out here working at Tumbleweed Ranch.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, plenty of traction.
No big deal, Andre.
Plenty of traction. Let me go to 3rd.
Power shift
there
here.
She is. Oh, we have a little bit of water. Maybe we need to put some asphalt right here on the driveway.
I mean, I haven't babied this truck, but I certainly haven't beat it up. I mean, I throw stuff in the bed, but it doesn't have any huge defects in the bed.
Do you have a gooseneck ball that can go in there?
So it's got a big plate that's bolted to the rails, so you could have a gooseneck trailer on here.
And I see you have wiring, at least some trailer wiring.
Yeah, that was for the slide-in camper.
Okay.
You can plug your slide-in camper into it and charge your battery. And then, like I said, I've pulled the trailer 25,000 miles probably. And
now bumpers are.
I built
David
that.
Special.
I built that maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
That I didn't like the bumper it was on there, and I wanted something that I could, back into something and not.
This is heavy duty. My goodness, this is heavy steel.
Yeah, it's 1/4-inch wall, 2-inch tubing.
Yeah.
But I got a trailer hookup and trailer brakes. Yeah.
Lights,
all
that stuff.
All the lights work.
This is, when I said in the beginning, this is probably the coolest classic truck, I really meant that.
I do get a lot of looks.
I just didn't say that to you because we're friends.
Thank you. That's quite a compliment.
Can we show the interior a little bit more?
Okay,
All right.
yeah. So yeah, the back seat is pretty remarkably clean. And get my coat out of here. I think it has one, here, show that, Ian. It's got one little nick in the fabric, but it's all there.
It's preserved.
It's preserved.
Because the seat was out of it for a while, right?
Yeah, I had a piece of plywood back here that I made to carry all my tools.
Uh-huh.
That I could slide my toolboxes in here and keep them out of the rain.
And still, did you say dual tanks for fuel or single?
Yeah, so originally it had dual tanks with a switch, an actuator switch.
Okay.
That would switch from one tank to the other. Those have been traditionally problematic. Here, Ian. So, right here. Oh, here's the EcoBoost switch right here. So
Okay.
there's Eco mode, there's Boost mode.
Okay.
But this was the tank switch. So I got two 20-gallon tanks, and I decided to do something a little unique. And let me show you what I did.
Okay.
Climb underneath the truck. All right, so here's a tank on the outside of the rail. And that was what was unique about square bodies.
Yeah.
They were kind of maligned a little bit because of it, because the tanks are on the outside of the rail. So they're a little bit vulnerable.
Okay.
But 20 gallons here, 20 gallons there. I put a bulk head fitting in each one.
Uh-huh.
And then I built this cross member.
Okay.
So that the two tanks are tied together. And then I got a ball valve right here.
Okay.
And if I just turn that ball valve, it'll take fuel from either one side to the other, so I could fill them
So
both.
it's a manual.
Yeah, manually.
Operation.
Yeah. So if I just want 20 gallons here, and then I can switch it. You can't have this open all the time, because if you're on an incline, all the fuel from this tank will run to this tank, and it could spill out the side.
Oh, I see.
So that's why I have the valve in here, so that it can keep the.
So it's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put a 4-inch exhaust in it all the way back. Well, like I
Yeah.
said, all new U-joints, balanced drive shaft, the new synchros in the transmission. I love the NV4500, by the way.
And also your fuel filter system.
Oh yeah, and fast FASS fuel system. So yeah, I mean, I've been pretty happy with this. The one downside I have, and whoever buys this truck needs to know it, is the water separator.
Yeah.
When it's really cold, the water, of course, this fills up with water.
Yeah.
It freezes.
Yeah.
And then it cuts off the fuel supply.
Well, you know what? I think Case found this on his truck too.
Yeah.
During this winter.
Yeah.
Because he has a similar system.
So that's the one downside. I have to be careful, because it can leave me stranded if it's, 10, 15 degrees outside or cooler. But they do make heaters for them.
Yeah.
If whoever buys a truck wants to put a heater
So
in
if you're
there.
in California, you may not need that
No.
if you're on the coast. But if you're in the middle of Minnesota,
Yes.
then you might need
I have
it.
a block heater, which helps out a lot.
Okay.
But it doesn't, in the starts, but it doesn't keep that filter from freezing over, which can really be a pain in the butt.
So, did we go over most of the things, the good and the... There's so much goodness.
Yeah,
We
let
showed
me-
some blemishes.
Yeah, let me talk about some other things. It's got a K27 turbocharger.
Okay.
It's $1,000 turbocharger, and it's relatively new.
Borg Warner.
Borg Warner.
Okay.
Yep. And so that, who knows what? I've never put it on the dyno, but she does have some power.
Well, I
just-
was with you hauling some rock for Tumbleweed Ranch in this,
Yep.
and she goes.
You flip that switch, and yeah,
She goes.
you feel the power.
Yeah.
I just put new injectors in it about 1,000 miles ago. It's real mild ones. For you guys that know, they were 5x11, so just a touch over what they would have been stock.
Okay.
Let's talk about the bad.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked about all the goodness. Talk about the bad, because I want whoever buys this truck, they need to know all about the bad. We've already talked about the windshield and the seats and the headliner.
Oh, yeah, cracks in the windshield.
Yep. So the body isn't actually in really good shape, except for stuff like this, where the paint's just coming off.
Yeah.
The only real dent that I have is over here, Andre. There's a slight crease in this side panel. You can kind of feel it. You don't really notice it too much, but I don't know, that was before me because I didn't do that. But if you want a truck to put a new paint job on and put new upholstery and a new dash, and I mean to really make this thing shine,
It'll be perfect. Yeah.
This baby is what you need, because you don't have much work. You don't have panels to replace and, you know, a lot of Bondo to put in here.
But you could, day one, you could drive this cross country. I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, it's ready.
You could drive it home.
So if you didn't sell it though, what did you have some other dreams about this truck?
Yes. So probably what I would love to do is put twin turbos on it.
Ooh.
Then we could really
compound.
Really compound. Yeah, not twin turbos, but compound turbos.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I'm glad you know.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
It's not a Ford.
It's not an EcoBoost.
No, it's not. It's not the real EcoBoost.
Okay.
But yeah, compound turbos, and in order to do that, you have to take the heater box, which is sitting right here, and you have to take it out to have enough room for all that. But here's the great thing about square bodies, which kind of makes this the ultimate truck, is the aftermarket for square body trucks is like, it's probably, of any truck out there, there are more aftermarket products for square bodies.
Grills, lights, bumpers, classic
body panels, seats,
reproduction,
you name it.
Just whatever.
Yeah. And then besides the LS motor, can you think of a motor that has more aftermarket support?
Cummins?
Cummins.
Yeah. Does the winch come with it?
Yeah, that winch it's a Harbor Freight version, but
does this come? Oh,
yeah,
it just pulls out.
Flip up. Flip up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did put a receiver, so this winch can come off. All you do is pull a pin, and then you just pull the plug, the Henderson. But this is great because if you want to jump, I have 30-foot jumper cables that I have in my other truck, and I just plug them in here and you can jump somebody.
Or some people have like hitch-mounted plows. You could put a plow on this.
Yeah, you probably could. But
any number of things.
Yeah. What's nice is I have the safety switch attached to the clutch, so this truck can't be started without the clutch detached. So that was a big deal, and that quick. So I'm currently in 4 low. We got 410 gears, and that transmission is low, so we're just gonna.
So you don't have to use gas, really. I mean throttle pedal.
No.
You'll just crawl up this tumbleweed range.
Yeah, I'm in 2-wheel drive right now, but let's see if we can just crawl up this without any throttle.
It's doing it.
Yeah.
It's doing it kind of by itself.
Yeah, at about 600 RPM. Look at that. Yeah, 600 RPM. It's climbing this hill.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, when did you change the tires? How new are the tires?
The tires have about 40,000 miles on them, but they're Michelin's, and I mean they go 80,000 miles legit.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go. Let's get out of 4 low, neutral, 2 high. All right.
Oh yeah, I can tell the difference immediately.
One of the goodies that truck has on it, which is nice to have, is this is EGTs, even though it's upside down. And this is boost, and she runs really cool. Putting that, what I mean is temperature-wise, yeah, it's a cool truck, but temperature-wise, the exhaust gases are really low, even pulling. I think it's a big turbo. I don't know. She runs good. She runs pretty clean.
And then the stereo works too, right?
Yeah, stereo works. This is the original in 1990. I think, maybe in the 89 they changed a little bit. So yeah, stereo.
So you got a cassette?
Yeah, cassette right here.
Yeah, so if you have your cassettes, this is the truck for you.
Yeah, exactly. I got a brake controller right here. That way, pulling the trailer, you're good and safe. So the clutch, I have the Chevy clutch pedal, but when it goes through the firewall, it immediately transitions into a Dodge clutch assembly, which has the master cylinder, slave cylinder, all in one, and it just, I mean, it pops out and replaces so quick and easy, already pre-charged with fluid. I wanted to save that because that's, and with the South Bend clutch, it's got a single disc South Bend clutch, and of course the rebuilt transmission. I mean, the thing shifts just perfectly.
And then you have dual batteries, right?
And dual batteries.
Dual batteries.
Yeah. All right, let's give her the beans going up this hill.
All right, let's fly. Woo-hoo-hoo. I love that sound. There's not too many engines that can make that sound.
It just did it a little noisy for me.
David, are you hiding air springs back here?
Well, they're not air springs, they're air bags. That way,
Oh, helpers.
Yeah, whenever you have a heavy load, I can pump them up, and it helps carrying a lot of weight.
That's for the air helpers.
Yeah, and also what I had to do here, Andre, is since this was a gas truck, I had to open up the hole a little more, because as you know, a diesel nozzle is larger than the gasoline nozzle, so I had to bust out the hole so they fit. Between the fact that I have my 03 Dodge to pull the camper, and I bought my project truck, I need the money.
Yeah.
I need the money to build my next project truck. So, I mean, I've got $25,000 in this, in just the engine swap, drive lines, turbos, injectors, springs, I mean...
Drive shafts.
Those
are not free. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Dynamat, you know, I mean, I got 25 grand in the truck besides my time. So, I don't know. I'm anxious to see what it'll bring because I have no idea what it'll bring.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I cover what I got in it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, please check it out, tflbids.com.
And if you have questions about it, you can email Andre and he can send it to me.
Yes, or Brandon or Alex or any of us on the team.
Thank you.